Hey folks, I'm CPC Gamer, and welcome to the stream. It's nice to see you. You see? I did it. The disappearing act was like, hey, you didn't do any Mr. Freeze jokes. There it is. I am genuinely sorry to hear that, oh Wales. Obviously I am currently live, however, I'm gonna bother you when I'm done to see if we can't fix that, see if we can get you some glitter. Lady Mappy, also, hello. Good to have you here. Also good to see Empirical Woodland and Zarkrai. They're here too. And so is the Ultimate Duck. I miss that guy. So, what are we doing? Well, on Mondays, we play horror games. This is the thing that I say, because it's true. And last week we finished up Silent Hill Shattered Memories, so I thought to myself, what better thing to do than to play it again? I am just going to turn you down. There we go. That should be a bit better. So, for people catching this stream or watching the VOD in the future, this is going to be titled Season 2, because this is my second playthrough through the game. And this time through, as well as taking the path that I didn't take before, where I can, I'm going to be a lot more like candid about how the game works and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, like, go watch the Season 1 stream if you don't want spoilers or you want a more natural look at someone playing this game. And then come back to this one, because it's really mechanically interesting. At least, I think so. But yeah, no, oh Wales, I very much appreciate you popping in to say hello and lurking in turn, because, you know, we have fun with our horror games, and we're actually here to look out for one another. We do very much care for one another. Also, yeah, the olden days of YouTube. I think I've been uploading to YouTube for maybe 13 years at this point. 14. I think I started in 2009. I did have a Let's Play of this at some point, and I'll talk about that a bit more in depth at some point, but like, so initially I uploaded it, and it got copyright trolled pretty hard, and then it got content claimed pretty hard, and it just became unavailable, so I'm like, let's just get rid of that, let's just live stream it, let's go. Let's live stream it twice to make up for the first time. So, thank you for the subscription, Lady Mappy / Anonymous Gifter. Please enjoy your emotes and your hat. So yeah, right away, the game kind of begins screwing with the player's expectations, because it is showing you two scenes that are not related to one another. And you think that they are, because they are shown in sequence, but the crash happened like 18 years ago, and this is, you know, right now. And this is down to something called the Kuleshov effect, which is an editing technique that, at its most basic form, says that you, the viewer, assign meaning to something based off what it's next to. And Alfred Hitchcock recreated that in the Kuleshov effect. Surprise, that's what it's called. And you should watch it. It's like 30 seconds long, but it explains everything perfectly. And the best thing is, it works every time, even when you know what it is. It's not like the basketball perception test, where if you know the answer, it doesn't work. So, yeah. Hi, Harry's made it to Silent Hill. Hope everything's okay. That frame shows up a lot in this game if you know where to look for it. Mostly in the Nightmare Descent section. But we will get to this.
I'm glad you came. Just turning up shows your commitment.
Alright, how the control's gonna go this time around. Good, I hope. Yeah, good. See? Kaufman says it.
Your notes. The other therapist didn't work out for you. I want you to know
there we go.
This will be different. We take this at your pace.
So in a previous stream, I said, hey, is that just a bottle of Smirnoff? But I didn't look at it.
We go back to the
Specifically because it would influence how the game goes. But I do want to look at it now. And yes, actually, that is totally a bottle of Smirnoff. So,
answer truthfully. It's easier that way.
I will. So, the game changes based on 4 major categories. You've got family, friendship, drugs and alcohol, sex and sexuality. And depending on how the player reacts to and interacts with those things, lots of things will change in the game. So, that might be the way that areas look, the way that characters dress or behave. There's a little bit more to it, but again, we'll get to that as we go through the game. And Lady Mappy, I don't think I'm going for a specific ending. Just doing something different to the last one I got. Although, I imagine we'll get a different ending because I'm going to play it a bit differently. But, yes, knowing how the game works and that it's tracking 4 different kinds of behavior, the purpose of this form becomes a little more obvious. The psych evaluation here is just initializing a bunch of variables, and that's how Chapter 1 is going to look, at least initially, before you start tinkering with it. So, I make friends easily, that's your friendliness one. Yes, I do. Having a drink helps me relax. Obviously, drugs and alcohol. And I'm going to pick true, because that influences a particular branching path that we didn't see last time. I always listen to other people's feelings. That one is friendliness. I'm going to say new. Why not? I prefer abstract ideas. We'll get to that. New. I have enjoyed roleplay during sex. Obviously, this one is sex and sexuality. But it also can influence a particular character's outfit. So we're going to say yes to that one. Working to a plan or schedule is best. This one influences your family score, weirdly. So that's a yes. And I have never cheated on a partner is sex and sexuality. I'm going to go for true for that one. Now, there is a 5th category that the game is checking for, but it only influences the ending. And I think Lady Mappy might be touching on this one a little bit. Basically, it's a little harder to nail down, but the game is checking if you're taking it seriously. So, for example, are you taking your time reading this sheet and maybe explaining your answers to people? Or are you just going, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, done, and turning it in as quickly as you can? And then this section right here, this also counts towards that particular ending.
Never cheated on a partner, really?
If you lie, or admit to Kaufman that you are lying, it suggests that you are not taking this seriously.
Okay.
And then it skews you towards that ending above all the other ones. If you answer true to the idea that I prefer abstract ideas, that also pushes you towards that ending. And there's other ways to do it, but as always, we're right at the start. We will get to that when we get to that.
Cheryl? Cheryl? Sweetie? Oh my God.
Also, Lady Mappy, you mentioned, didn't I do a Let's Play of this? This was the first Let's Play I did that used my Dazzle. I'm like, man, what can I do with this device? Let's record Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I love it. Okay. So, the plot of this game is that Harry is dead. And he died 18 years before the game begins. And anytime you see Harry wandering around Silent Hill like this is Cheryl's subconscious trying to rationalize what happened. And it's not 100% clear on what is going on. How is Harry meeting people? Is Harry meeting people? What is real and what isn't? It's up to you. The devs kind of wanted to go for a dream logic type of feel. So a lot of it kind of makes sense if you half remember it, and some of it doesn't. It's that kind of thing. Now, I'm pretty sure there is... Yeah, look at that.
Not now.
That's the good stuff. It's also checking things like, how long does a player spend in each area? What does a player do? Like when we get here, do we go to the exit and continue onwards? Do we go to the restrooms? When we get to the restrooms, which one do we go in? And all of these very subtly tinker around with just variables in the background. And anytime you load into a new area, it reads those variables and things change. So an idea I had about specifically what's going on with this game, I talked about this with Beepsol ages ago. I think, or I have had a thought, you could argue, we'll go with that, you could argue that each chapter here is a therapy session, or a role-playing session, specifically. So Dr. Kaufman is taking on the role of, you know, the police officer or the couple in the house, and he's pointing out inconsistencies with the story. But Cheryl, playing her dad, is going, well, if the computer at school was locked, he'd totally unlock it because he's so smart. And then when the world freezes over, that is the session ending, and Cheryl stops thinking about it directly, but it's still ticking over in the background. Now, previously, we went this way, through Clear Picture Video Store, because of this big glowing neon sign. But you can actually pass it, and go to this shop over here. And with this, and every other branching path, you can only take one. As soon as you hit that button and interact with the door, the other door has locked. Can't go that way. Hi. That was a bit creepy, wasn't it? But yeah, this is Teresa's clothing store. A name that is ruined for me, thanks to literary juggernaut Norman Bouton. Don't say his name 3 times or he'll show up and shill his book, so shh.
Hi, Teresa. I gotta head out early, so I'm locking up. Place is dead anyhow. We had that woman come back, the spacey one. She decided to sell the dress, so I paid up. But she spends the whole wad on booze. Okay. Oh, I locked up back. The keys in Jane's jacket. See you next week.
So it's deliberately unclear who the person in that message is. It's deliberately unclear a lot of things in this game. But the dress is Cheryl's prom dress. Because she didn't need one. Because she didn't go. And this is something we find out when we get to the Frigid storyline. It's like end of chapter 2, start of chapter 3. But she had a boyfriend who broke up with her because he couldn't pressure her into sex. So she got rid of the dress because why would she go to the prom with that guy? So let me adjust that. Now, you remember the message on the phone? Hopefully, because I wasn't talking over it that much. The key is in Jane's jacket. So what you have to do is look at these and decide which one do you think belongs to somebody called Jane. I'm going to go for this one. Well, how about that? What the game is actually doing is assigning you points towards your sex and sexuality score based on which of the three you picked up, and did you undress the other mannequins when you had no reason to. Pretty clever. If you go to clear picture, it's a lot easier to sort of tinker around with your scores, because the room that has the key in it, like the door buzzer, there's posters up on the wall. So you can look at, I don't know, Reefer Madness, and then your drug score goes up, or Father of the Bride, and your family score goes up. Now, the interesting thing is that no matter which shop you go through, you always end up in this location. In fact, we saw this door when we came through this door at the start of the last stream. I'm going to say it a lot, and Lady Mappy has beaten me to it, or is joining in. Pretty clever. Pretty clever. Bit weird. So, this is something that has kind of changed from the previous game. These were Coke cans the last time we came here, but obviously they're beer cans now, and that suggests where your scores are at. Same puzzle, though. Find the one with the key in it, tip the key out, and grab the key. Also, I'm pretty sure this slide is one of the things that changes randomly. Like, that was a climbing frame last time. Anyways, through we go. And I believe getting the beer cans indicates what area you're going to see when you go through this door. Well, look at that! Color me surprised. What you can do is you can go to the bar. But I believe...
Not gonna open.
Yeah, look at that. So, you can visit the bar if that's what your scores allow, but apparently mine won't let me do that. Which is wild. But this is the only branching path where you don't get to choose where you go. And as I say, you kind of have to work to go in there. So, yeah, there you go. At least we get to see this scene, which looks a little different now. Ooh, actually, there's kind of a creepy bug with this character's model.
Not a good night to be out and about.
I'm looking for my daughter.
Take a seat. Your daughter. Go on.
We were in a car accident. When I came to, she was gone.
Maybe she went to get help. She a clever girl? Sensible?
Yeah, I think so. She's 7. Her name's Cheryl. Here's a photo.
Cute. Harry Mason. Levin Street. Your ID says you live on Levin Street. That's a few blocks from here.
Levin Street, yeah. Yeah, that's where I live.
Uh-huh. You feeling okay, Harry? Any headache, nausea, blurred vision?
Bit of all of them. Maybe she went home. Makes sense.
Harry? Your phone?
My phone. Right. They hung up.
A lot of problems with phones on account of the storm. Maybe that was your little girl.
She could be trying to call me from home.
All units, please respond. Unconfirmed reports of a potential looting on Finney Street.
Shit. I need to follow this up.
It's okay. I'll head home. I'm sure she's there.
Tell you what, as soon as I'm done, I'll meet you over there. 11th Street.
Thanks.
Take care.
So obviously, the fact that this is a new model for Sybil, that played out a lot differently compared to the first time we saw that scene. She said, "Harry, your phone," not "Sir, you want to get that." She's friendly. Who knew? And that's pretty cool. That comes down to some of the answers that we have given. And there is also... Yeah, there we go. The game's first memento is here. Now, what's the button? That's the button. Right. So, whether you go to the diner or the pub, it's always the same memento in roughly the same place. Like, it's in a dartboard if you go to the pub. And... well, these guys are items that belonged to Cheryl. Or belong to Cheryl, I should say. But they also have some pretty interesting clues as to the plot. So this one, if you want to zoom in, like, you've got a little girl, maybe a princess, at a lighthouse. With the benefit of hindsight, we know that the lighthouse is the clinic where the therapy sessions are taking place. That's a little girl with short black hair, just turned 7, like Cheryl. Maybe she's a princess, and Cheryl dressed up as the princess in the opening. This is the ending to the game. Cheryl is at the lighthouse. Pretty clever, right? I like it. Only real point of note that I have about going into the bar is that there is no equivalent to that in the original Silent Hill. Like, there's, I think, Annie's bar, where you do the Kaufman side quest. But, yeah, there's no equivalent in the original game. But, it is in the movie! And in Silent Hill Revelations, Heather and Jon Snow go to the good old days pub. And the reason you can't choose to go here is because this whole section, waking up in Silent Hill to the end of the first Nightmare Chase, that was the demo. And this was designed to show that it's not always a case of choose door A or door B. Sometimes the game chooses for you. Alright, now we're outside. I'm going to look at this board right here, which is a family therapy clinic the first time you come here, I believe. But this time it's United Fruitcake Outlet, which, man, I don't know what that means. But there is a phone number. So, let's dial that, how about? Nope, not that one. I have to navigate with this little stick over here. So what's that? That is 555 3 8 2 5. What a weird message. Oh, but they did send us a text. We can't talk yet, but you want in? They've hidden 13 of their craft all around town. If you get me the photographic evidence I need, we can meet face to face. Look at that weather balloon. Definitely nothing out of place there. So yeah, this is the lead into the game's UFO ending. And it's a pretty clever way of doing it. There are 13 UFOs which have now spawned throughout the game. And if you can find and photograph each of them, well then that gets you the UFO ending. I like that a lot more than whatever Downpour did. Where it's like, go and find a shovel and go and find I don't know what.
Daddy, I'm hurt.
So that message was a little bit different than the one we got last time, which said, I believe, Daddy, where are you? This is one of those things that changes as you play through the game. Pretty clever. Now, where is it? There it is! Look at that! We found one! Quickly, get up that ladder before it leaves. I think it's kind of creepy that these guys don't move. Nope, that's look behind you. What is the camera button? That's the map button. That's the camera button. There we go. Right. One down. Keep looking. I will, Mr. Fruitcake. You can count on me. I mean, Downpour, in fairness, Downpour does a lot of good things, and it certainly has my favorite look for Silent Hill, the place. Oh, good, the sound came back. I was so worried. So I skipped over that message, but basically it says that, like, negative emotions will attach themselves to things in the environment. So use your radio to find out what it is.
Hey, it's Caitlin. I am looking at the world's most beautiful prom dress. I am so excited. Mike will be putty in my hands. Catch up tonight.
You can catch the other side of that text conversation like halfway through the school. It's pretty clever. Also kind of clever, this is Michelle's dress. The one that we saw her wearing in the last run through the game. And it was a very deliberate choice to put it there. And it, again, it goes back to dream logic. Like, is Michelle real, or is she a half-remembered face in a crowd wearing that dress you saw in a window? You figure it out. Oh, hello.
Cheryl?
Daddy? Daddy?
Sweetie, you're okay? Are you at home? Sweetie, wait there. Wait for me.
You have to run, Daddy. You can't fight them. Run!
What? Is somebody with you?
So,
Cheryl, I'm coming to get
first off, dead end sign.
you. Damn it.
Did you get it? Pretty clever. Also, can you tell that this section was part of the demo? Because this whole sequence looks amazing. And it's the only time the game ever does it. Like, every other transition to the Dark World is just, oops, the room you're in is now blue. So, couple of things to notice here. First of all, this is the old video game trick of, if you want your players to look at something, shine a light on it. Second, this is the second car that has been completely wrecked, and Harry is just walking away from it like it's nothing. And we're like half an hour into the game. And this is a recurring visual thing. And it's not just cars, either. Like, there's a crashed plane somewhere in the forest, and you can see, like, trains have crashed through the hospital. And Harry just shrugs it off and walks away, because Harry is invincible. These guys are suddenly looking a lot more healthy than they did at the end of my last run. What's up with that? We'll explain it soon. So, this is, for people who have seen the game, this is the other like major mechanic, is the nightmare chase sequences. And that is a very deliberate name, because they were very deliberately modeled after children's nightmares. Because you don't, like the devs have said this, you don't dream about smashing up zombies with a pipe. You dream that you're being chased and you can't get away. And you dream that the rooms kind of look familiar, but nothing makes sense. Everyone has had that dream where you're stuck and you run but you can't move. And that's what this is. That one, I don't think that was the door. Oh wait, yeah, it is. Locker room. There you go. It's almost like I played this game fairly recently. What do you know? Alright, so let me grab that. Gotta say though, these sections are generally a lot more panic-inducing when you don't have a guide telling you how to get to the end. Or a chirpy Englishman talking over the top of them. But what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to just become lost endlessly until you somehow find your way out. But here we are. That's the exit. And this right here is home. Tell you what else makes those chase sequences easier is playing this game on the PS2.
But let's leave that topic.
Arden Slacker, hello.
I want to talk about family.
But yeah, in that game,
It's important, right?
you... Oh,
I don't mean all that touchy-feely crap. You're not a very touchy-feely person. You're giving me that look.
see, he's assessing us slightly differently because we've given different answers and behaved differently this time to what we did before.
Let's play true or false.
Okay, I'm good at this game.
Is it true to say you're a private person?
Once again, I'm going to say no because I'm over here on the internet playing this for you guys. No.
Would you say it takes a while for people to get to know you?
No.
Uh-huh. People can choose their friends, but not their family. Would you prefer to spend time with friends over family?
So again, just like the psych test at the start, this is tweaking the variables that it's set up in terms of, well, in this case, family versus friends. And it'll skew things one way or the other based on what you say.
Nothing surprising there. Now, you're going to like this. On the table are some pencils and a picture. I want you to let out your inner child and color in the picture.
Aw, yeah.
It's titled Happy Family.
Let's go. Coloring inside the lines. So, the coloring test is mostly here to gauge how seriously you're taking the game. Do you try to stay within the lines? Do you try to fill everything in? Within reason. Or do you just slap a few colors down and turn it in? It also has a degree of influence over the next scene, where some of the colors that you put down will show up. So for example, let's have a red car. As best I can anyway. Not great. Motion controls. That's kind of the point I was getting to. And we'll have a blue mailbox. And then blue windows in the car. And let's go for a purple door. So yeah, as I was saying, it's a lot easier to throw the monsters off here in the PS2 version, because it's done with a button prompt, which is a lot more immersive and intuitive than motion controls. Because motion controls are not immersive, and I will die on this hill. I don't think you can die on a hill if you just are correct. Can you? I don't know. Anyway. since we got a bit of downtime while I'm doing this, let's talk about the game's development. Why not? Because, I don't know, it's really interesting. So, the original plan was it was going to be a game called Brahms PD. Brahms being the next town over from Silent Hill. And it was going to be a first-person shooter set in the Silent Hill universe. Or maybe not a first-person shooter. It was going to be like Condemned. It was going to be like Condemned, where it is in first-person and you do shoot, but it's not a first-person shooter. Anyway, hopefully you get what I mean. And it was still framed as a psychiatric evaluation with flashbacks, only instead of being Harry looking for Cheryl, you were a cop looking for his partner. And Konami didn't like that idea. They shot that one down. And a couple reasons. The biggest one being, whoops, you forgot to set your Silent Hill game in Silent Hill. Bit of an oversight there. Because they had already done a game like that, and it was Silent Hill Homecoming, objectively the worst one in the series to this day. So they weren't going to do that again. Click! Hello, hello. Empirical Woodlands got me paranoid that anytime I call you out, I'm actually talking to someone else. But I am a little bit salty that we didn't get the police story, because I genuinely think there's a lot of good things you can do with that. Like, a friend of mine pitched the idea that, what if you had said to your partner, you know, get in there, I'll cover you, and you didn't, because your partner was a whistleblower, and by not covering him, you've now protected yourself. That's a good enough reason to go to Silent Hill. And I like the idea that you could maybe anticipate the player having to do police work. So, are the people you're talking to trustworthy and paranoid? Which is great, because nobody is trustworthy in Silent Hill. And, like, everyone's paranoid when they're talking to the police. Are they gonna black bag you and get away with it? Because they totally could, you know? There we go. And there was one more sort of proposed idea for this game. But I'm just gonna color in the side of this house and we'll call it a day. We'll talk about game design number 2 later on, so you guys can stay tuned. Oh, Empirical Woodland, check out! It's like the spectrum down here. You see that? Very specifically, this red, purple, yellow, and blue, that's what the ZX Spectrum looked like. Good times.
You finished?
Yes, I am.
What a lovely family home. Is your home like this?
Pretty sure. So yeah, check it out. Red house, purple door, blue mailbox, red car. I think that's a pretty clever thing. Obviously, it only works within reason. If you set up, like, if you give the characters bright pink hair, the game won't do that, and it will mark you down for not taking things seriously. But hey, I think that's really cool. I don't know, like, adding custard to things, I would.
Are you okay, son?
No! What are you people doing in my house? Cheryl!
Easy there. This isn't your house.
Some trouble, honey?
No, Lucy. This man here's just a little confused.
This is my house!
Well, I don't see how that can be the case. We've been here nearly 14 years. Sure you got the right address?
That was from like a gunshot. What was that?
You're in a bad way, son. Getting yourself all worked up.
Are you okay?
I am not okay. I was in a car accident. My daughter is gone, and you people are in my house.
This is all wrong.
You're starting to make a scene.
This doesn't make sense. Not at all. Cheryl!
You are upsetting my wife.
Get the hell out of my house! It's my house! It's my damn house! Cheryl!
Lady Mappy, I'm with you. Like, I don't like answering the door to people when I'm not expecting someone, because what if they try to sell me something? And these guys are just like, yeah, you know what? It's fine. Let's just try and de-escalate. Call the one police officer.
A reported disturbance came through on dispatch. The address rang a bell.
Yes, there's been a disturbance. There are people in my house. I think they have my daughter.
Hell of an accusation. I know the couple who called this in. Mike Stewart is a doctor. He doesn't have your...
You saw my license. This is my house.
Let me see that license again. You had an accident. You know you're a little punch drunk, Harry. I can't raise the station on my radio. Let's go over there together and sort this mess out. Look, I'm sorry if I came across as a hard ass before. There's a lot going on right now. I just bumped you up on my priority list, okay? Come on.
Man, there is a variant of this scene where
Mind your head.
the textures on her model don't quite work, and you can see the polygons on her face just becoming a mesh. It's terrifying. I hate it. Do not do that, game.
You know what's funny?
So I pointed this out last time as well. Eyes right.
Before that, I used to ride around in my daddy's patrol car.
There is a doghouse on Levin Street. That's a reference to Silent Hill 1.
I don't know you.
I don't see any dogs around here. It's that. That's what that is.
I guess tonight everything is out of whack. Why are we the only car on the road?
No one's sane out driving tonight. Sorry, I didn't mean to...
It's okay. What is with all this snow?
Who knows? We only covered basic meteorology in the academy. Hell, we didn't hear about this till it was happening. Barely had time to close off the major highways.
It's like the whole town is being punished.
It's only weather.
Sure.
That's a good line. So the idea behind Sybil was to give someone who goes against what the player expects from law enforcement.
You okay back there?
Sure.
Like, if you expect that the police will be friendly
Sure your
and
daughter's okay.
behave within the confines of their roles,
Probably get you to the hospital.
you're going to get the overbearing hard ass that you got earlier.
Fine.
And if you expect that the police will be
Need to get you checked out.
overbearing hard asses, you're probably going to get officer friendly over here.
He got hit on the head by a punk
Or there's one in, like,
resisting
what is essentially a fetish gear.
arrest. You're the same after all.
So, it's designed
Gotta
to
look after yourself, Harry.
keep the
You
player
got
on
this
edge and make them uncomfortable and second guess what they are, air quotes, supposed to do next.
Crazy.
Pretty clever. I'm going to keep saying that this whole game, and I'm so sorry.
Wait here. I'm just gonna check where we are.
I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to go. Alright, so first off, we have a memento in the glove box. This is a reference to Silent Hill Origins, which is the other game, or the Silent Hill game made by Climax, because Hemingways are introduced in that. And in some of the concept art for this game, Cheryl is smoking, so I'm guessing that's her brand. She has special eyes. Good night. There we go. And there we go. And more importantly, for the third time today, the snow brings a car to an abrupt halt, and Harry walks away unharmed and unfazed. And that's related to the story. Because Harry died in a car crash, and Cheryl is just denying that it ever happened. So this version of Harry, created in her imagination, will not be stopped, no matter what vehicle experiences a disaster, or what that disaster is. He's fine. And there's a couple of other examples of Cheryl's imagination shaping the world, and what do you know? We'll get to that.
Mom, it's Jackie. Look, I'm sorry about earlier. You were right. I'm at the party. I don't feel good. I don't know anyone, and I'm nervous. Can you come get me?
Man, that's me at every party. I don't know anyone here. What do you do at parties? I don't know.
Gonna need a key.
Alright, let's go and get that key. Come on. There we go. So, like, the version of Sybil that we have now is the one that I usually get. And I was genuinely surprised when the SWAT cop showed up in the last stream, and I hope I didn't sound it, because I feel like that would have just given the game away if I had done that. As opposed to all those other times where I just straight up said what the ending was, and it went over everyone's heads. I love doing that. I'm very proud of myself. Is it here? No, it's not here. Okay, so there's like a thing coming up, and I always miss it. Also, yeah, imagine liking things. How gauche. Now, where is that thing? Here it is. Gosh, it's like a massive landmark or something. Over we go. Because in here, we have another memento. And this one is just... It's called that, like, as a nod to the Frozen aesthetic of the game. It's just a cool marble. And speaking of names, the mementos are called that, like specifically that, and not, you know, collectibles or whatever, in reference to a Latin phrase, memento mori, which means remember death. Specifically in the context of remember that you will die, as in be good to yourself and the people around you, because nobody's getting out of here alive. There it is. Don't worry about looking for me. I'll be with my brother again soon. I hope he forgives me. It's so cold. It had to end like this. That guy, that message, is related to the boy in the water sluice that you find later. And this is one of those storylines that you can only really piece together when you pay attention to the plot threads. Like, because it arranges all the threads in your phone. And yeah, that's what that one is. Now, is this the spot? Yes, it is. I see you. That's the map. I don't want that button. I want my camera. Yeah, I'm on to you. That's 2. The bastards are everywhere. Alright, let's keep on going. I believe you can actually miss that one. As in, you can just take a different path that avoids the boathouse. I could be wrong. Speaking of being wrong, what a good transition. Let's head up here. Because Cheryl desperately wants to believe. That is essentially the plot of this. So, yes. Spot on with that. Crazy shit, man. We shouldn't have given the new girl that stuff. She's running around tearing her clothes off, won't stop crying. Damn. Shut up about who gave it to her. Now, people often assume that this refers to Cheryl. But it actually doesn't, because Cheryl is alive. Spoilers, I know. This sleeping bag belongs to Jackie. That's the girl whose message we found earlier. And there is a point when Cheryl and Jackie's stories intersect. And it's not too far from here, actually. Yeah, it's just really interesting to note that that's something a lot of people miss on. There are messages, not necessarily from Cheryl, but like featuring her voice. And generally, they are signified by the family of ice sculptures. That's how you know that something going on is directly from her or about her. Now, here we are. This is where I always sort of forget what I'm looking for. I think I know. Okay, here we go. Zachariah's gonna go get some dinner. Be right back. Cool stuff. See you soon. Hope you have a good one. Let us know what it is. There is a possibility, by the way, for this room to just be like smeared in blood and chains and just meat. And it's weird and out of place because that's not really what this game is. What we have over here, come on. A movable feast, which says something on it somewhere, if I can find where it is. Is it? Oh yeah, there it is. All stories end in death. Which, again, spoilers related to this game. This story ends in death. But there is also part of the story where you find that Cheryl stabbed a security guard in the mall, so it also ties into that. I almost missed you. You're the one that I always forget about. Very well hidden. You got 3. Why doesn't anyone else see it? And you can also go back in and grab this guy. A broken ward. Safety flashlight. It's one of those little pump handle things. Presumably labeled as a broken ward because they don't work. Like, you pump the handle and it kind of glows faintly and then it turns itself back off again. It's not super great.
Mr. Mason,
Officer Bennett? What's going on?
I'm looking for you. Where the hell did you run off to?
I'm in some woods.
You just ran from a police officer.
What? Come on.
Look, Mr. Mason.
I need to find my daughter. Christ. I'm not under arrest, am I?
Mr. Mason! Get yourself back here now. Do not make things difficult for yourself.
I'm heading back to town.
Yep, just sass back a cop who knows that you've been out and crashed. That's absolutely fine. Oh yeah, it's this guy over here. Can I get rid of that prompt? No, I can't. Okay, well. As before, there is a non-zero chance that there's going to be a couple of, like, homophobic language words used in this message. If that is something to which you are sensitive, maybe mute the stream until Harry puts the phone away.
Stop crying, Joel. Stop being such a pussy. Finish the damn...
Oh, YouTube's gonna get me for that.
In the first place, you wouldn't be suffering like that. Just point and shoot. It's right in front of you.
I am going to get shut down super hard for that. They did toy with the idea of taking a police officer through Silent Hill in Downpour, because that was the original plan for that. We'll talk a bit about that when I get to that. But, yeah, there we go. Let's just grab that there key. Now, this is the part where Cheryl and Jackie's stories intersect. Because one of the messages you can get about Jackie says that the partygoers intend to, like, burn the trash and remove any evidence they were here. And that's what they did. They dumped Jackie in this fishing hole, or whatever it is. And Cheryl found it. That's why Cheryl is running screaming from this room. She's not running from you. She's running from the body she found, and the world is frozen because she's trying not to think about it. Anyway. Right. Don't mind me, just checking my notes again. Because I always have trouble with this nightmare. I had trouble last time, but not the kind you're thinking, because the controller just up and died at this point because of the darkness of the room. The darkness in the room. But, hopefully not this time. Hopefully all will be well. And, once again, my notes read, get to house, door on right, straight path outside, so... I'm not making this easy for myself, am I? Hiding doesn't work. Never works. They just smash right through it. Just like Harry would with that door. Oh no. Oh, it's starting again. Here it comes. Now, somebody touched on this in the last stream, actually. Alright, here we go. Nice! Somebody touched on this last time when they said, no, Harry, don't go into the light. Yeah. That's why you tend to follow lights throughout this game. It's a going into the light thing. Also, as you say, you want the player to look at something, you put a light on it, so it gives you an easy path to follow. Pretty clever. And you can already see that these guys are looking slightly different to the way they were in the first chase sequence, and to how they were looking in my first stream. It's really clever how they do that. You know, I made that joke about someone stealing my thesaurus and I've got no words? It's basically that. I need some more, like, synonyms for clever. Okay. Pretty sure this is the next point where it's just a straight run to... Yeah, there's the light. Okay, straight run to the next point we need to get to. Hopefully, let's go. It's deliberately quite confusing here because... Doesn't this area look exactly like the one we just came out of? Harry, do you want to get down from there? There you go. And... Yes! Safe! Come on. So I mentioned earlier, messages featuring Cheryl feature an ICE family. This is it. This is Cheryl's family. That's me!
I'm on the phone. Yeah, I'm coming back early. This isn't working out.
Mom!
Not now, honey. Mommy's on the phone. Put your damn drink down and look after her.
Mommy!
Shush. Go show Daddy. This whole trip was a bad idea. He's no better here. Worse, if anything. I can't put up with it anymore.
I won! Mom!
That MIDI font always cracks me up.
In a minute.
Like, that's a very specifically MIDI noise. I love it. So, if you saw the original stream, this is probably the point you'll recognize what the game is doing. Every major story beat is the same, but how it is executed changes slightly. And the answer to this one is always the same, which I've got written down because I'm not at all confident in my baby puzzle solving skills. So we hit duck, and then it was owl, parrot, parrot. There you go. Thank you for your cooperation, remote. And that is very deliberately a reference to Silent Hill 1, where you had to read a poem about birds and then translate that into keys on a piano. Like, it wasn't done in a mean-spirited way. Like, oh, is the puzzle too hard? Here's a toy, you baby. It wasn't that. It's just a cute little nod to the original.
I know. That's the problem, Diane.
Look!
Was that your glass? What was she doing? Oh my god. Is that blood?
So as I was saying, that the story beats are all the same, but how they are executed changes. So Cheryl will always cut herself on a glass, but depending on how you're playing the game, the circumstances change. Was it because Dahlia wasn't paying attention? Was it because Harry was drunk and leaving his just glass lying around? How did that happen? They're coming from that way. Let's run away from that way, shall we? Ow. I am trying to do some sightseeing, thanks guys. Look, check it out. It's the crashed plane. And Harry's just going to ignore it. Everything's fine. These guys are everywhere. What's up with that? Alright, here's where we go next. And I know that because there is a flare telling me where to go. Get up. Throw down you. And light that. And then I believe this is also a straight path to the end. Check it out! Creepy devil silhouette. Which I have covered up with the with the flare. Maybe don't do that. Oh, I think I've gone the wrong way. The terror in the voice of CPC Gamer as he realizes he may have taken the wrong path. Oh, I sure did. Because this is, Oh, no I didn't. Because there's those fish watching the TV. Man, this game is good at instilling fear, but only in as much as I get lost and exposed on stream. I hate that. It's my worst nightmare. Alright. Here we go. Here is the exit. Oh, the frame rate doesn't like it. That's not you, chat. That's actually the console loading in. My goodness. Alright, there we go. And everything goes back to normal again. Good job. I mentioned it last time. This guy right here
Latin, I think?
is Latin. It says, "Who is this that is coming?" And that is in reference to Harry, would you believe? He's, yeah, who is coming to find Cheryl? Who is it? Who is it? Now, if we go over this way, yeah. Here is something new to look at. Really? You gonna tell me that that isn't gonna proc the message? Fine. There we go.
Take your hands off me. You've had too much to drink.
Yeah, I'm drunk on your love. Give it up, baby.
Get
This game does love its Latin. It's not. I ran past a Latin phrase when I was in the church because I didn't want to stand and look at it. Because why would you stand and look at stuff in the nightmare sequences? But there's another one in there as well. I forget what it says off the top of my head. In any case, here is another memento. And this one is a butterfly specimen. And this ties back to Silent Hill 1, where Cheryl liked collecting butterflies. So this Cheryl does as well. And in that game, it was symbolic of like the cycle of death and rebirth. Alessa becomes Cheryl, who in turn becomes Heather. And it also shows up a lot in Silent Hill 2. It's a really good game. Go play it. And in this game, yes, it's a butterfly specimen that Cheryl collected. But the fact that it's called Pinned Beauty, and it is a butterfly spread open and held down, and we're over here at make out point, you can read into that if you want, and suggest that whatever happened here, Cheryl, at the very best case scenario, had to be coerced. And that's terrible. I mean, the message we got this time round was a lot more overt with things. Yeah, see, Lady Matthews, you got it. What's that, Empirical Woodland? Sometime a butterfly is just a butterfly? It's fine. Now, I always forget which way around this is. I think it's next. Also, a friend of mine pointed this out. The Cuckoos is not a very good name for a sport team. Because if you've got, you know, the Lions and the Tigers, they're like the kings. And you don't want to mess with them. And, you know, the Wildcats and the Wolverines, they're scrappy little fighters, and you don't want to mess with them. But, like, the Cuckoos? Y'all just really enjoy 80s movies? You should. A lot of them are really good. But, like... Oh! Do you see that?
Officer?
Do you see that, chat?
Hey, I've been calling you. Did you switch your phone off?
No, I just,
Officer, I'm seeing something. Do you see it?
Where I was.
Harry, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm out of the woods. I'm on a football field. I think it's the high school.
Midwich High School. Listen, Harry, Midwich has a gym. They often use it as an emergency shelter in severe weather. Go to the gym and wait there for me.
Emergency shelter? Cheryl could have been taken there.
Yes, Cheryl could be there. Will you do this for me?
Yeah, I'm going. But if Cheryl's not there, I can't wait. I'm sorry, I just can't.
Harry...
Oh, game!
So
Well, I guess we don't get the UFO ending anymore.
of high school. When I was starting out, the popular theory said it was their mom and dad that screwed a person up.
I can work with this.
But if you really
Don't worry about
want
it.
to screw someone up, I say, send them to high school. I bet your school locker was a real mess. You were one of those organized chaos types, right?
That's me.
Okay, let's move on. I'm going to throw out some words. Nod when they fit how you were at school. Shake your head if they don't. Ready? Jock.
So, the answers that you give to Kaufman, yes, it will influence your internal scores, but it will also change certain outfits that you are likely to find later on. So I'm going to say yes to Jock.
Next. Slut.
That one is a no in this playthrough.
Drunk. Ah. Virgin. Bully.
Criddle, hello, hello. How you doing? No.
And slacker.
So, knowing what we know about the things that the game is recording in terms of the values, slut, drunk, virgin, and bully, all fairly self-explanatory what they influence. That's the sex, the alcohol, sex and friendliness. Slacker doesn't do anything. That's just there for fun. No. But also, if you say that you were a bully or a jock, that influences an outfit you will find later on.
On the table, I've laid out a blank timetable and some cards with lessons on them. Pick out the lessons to show me your perfect school day. Don't leave any empty. There are only 4 periods, and I've allocated a very generous lunch.
I love that cocky little head waggle every single time. It's great. Do you know what? It seems like that's the best of us can be doing today, you know? We're all feeling it today. So, whichever classes you pick up show up on the mural outside the school. We've shown that one off previously. Other than that, most of these don't do anything. They're just here to make you think. Although some of them are very familiar. Right, hello. Who does voice that guy? I'm not sure off the top of my head. Although I'm with you, he sounds like every other that guy. Which is weird, because for the most part, the characters in this game are not voiced by known people, except for Yuri Lowenthal. He's in here and he's obvious. So if you pick things like, what's on the list? Religion, geography, creative writing, literature, maths, and science, they don't do anything. Football and basketball, they change your outfit. And theater has a chance to change an upcoming outfit. And sex ed, obviously that will raise your sex and sexuality score.
Done.
Yes, I am.
Nice. If that was all there
Nice.
was to it, it would have been a breeze, wouldn't it? Come on. Let's talk more about the bad stuff that happened at school.
Click, you are correct. Technically, science does everything. But, like, in terms of... Oh my god, it's still there. Quickly, before it leaves. Yeah! 4 of them. What are they doing here? Oh... I am genuinely relieved that this UFO is still here. I'm like, do I have to play this game again just to get that? But actually you can't, because the game tracks like 25%-ish of what the game does and how it tinkers with things comes from Kaufman. The rest of it comes from what you, the player, do. Do you try locked doors to go, oh yeah, I need a key? Or do you go, oh, I know where the key is, it's over here, I'm just going to go collect it, and bulldoze a path straight to the end? Do you check your map? Do you look at stuff in and around the environment? Do you draw on your map? That's an interesting one. Michael McConaughey plays Kaufman, and he's in a lot of things. It sounds like a familiar name, but I could not tell you what off the top of my head. Oh yeah, this is the door telling me to close it. Let's do that. I want to look at a dead rat anyway. I want to say he voiced somebody in Guilty Gear Overture. He's in Overwatch? Who is he in Overwatch? You're going to tell me, and I'm going to go, really, May? By the way, this message right here, that's an actual cheer team. I mentioned it last time. Legal was like, hey, we got to get rid of those faces. Do you want to get sued? So that's why that looks like that. Dang old Legal. I never got my tote bag. All students. There is a craze at the moment for young adults to try what is often called the choking game. Don't be stupid. Don't risk your young lives or your health. The kids who have died playing this game died senseless, tragic deaths. Heed their warning and don't join them. Oh, that doesn't count as being in Overwatch. He's a dude in the background of a map? Oh, but he is though, isn't he? He's in the second tier spawn room. Outside the Fargo Deep Mine Ride. Oh, amazing.
Why you have to be like this, baby? I know you're shy and stuff. That's how you are. But we have a connection. Why don't you trust me? All the other guys are getting... Yeah, okay, sorry, that's cheap.
Again, if you're gonna call yourself out as being an absolute cheap shot creep, you know you're being an absolute cheap shot creep. Man, that was awful. Why didn't anyone tell me Rick was Todd's best friend? Man, that joke is all over the school anyway. To be fair, you are also correct, Click. If I was a voice in something, I would be all over that. You! Five snapped. This is our planet. I didn't even come up here for that. I came to show off this. Ooh, we got a rare spawn. Look at this. This was red the last time we came in. But we still have Suffocated Forever, which isn't, like, really related to anything plot-wise. It's just, Cheryl liked to collect bugs. Dr. Paradigm, that's the character. He's a little dragon on a hovercraft, and he floats around. And I believe I know that, because I drew that connection between this game and that one because of that guy's voice actor. I'm usually really good at spotting voice actors. And being like, oh yeah, that's such and such from what's it?
Oh, you damn whore! It's just a wig! You're old enough to be my wife. You ain't a schoolgirl. You're old meat. Disgusting!
Once again, I'm not about any of that. Sex work is real work, and we respect that in this channel. Thank you very much. So, this is the Oriental Lotus. It's a massage parlor now. Whereas before it was, I believe it's just called the Cat House. And there is an easier way to get where I need to be than by going back the way I came, right? Because I remember at this time, you gotta go through the back door in the burger bar that is clearly labeled as the exit and the way that you need to go. So, I remembered. There's also something to look for while you're in there as well. So, that will be nice to show off. The fact that there's something over here, just like idly playing music, that's real creepy. But like, in a subtle way that I can't tell you why. You know, like if you find an untuned TV and it's kind of creepy? I can't tell you why, it just sort of is. Anyway, we need to go over here and collect my plastic perfect girl. No secret messages on this one. In part, that's because we're going through a storyline called Frigid. Like, she's naked, she's cold, that's kind of how that goes. But it also references a literary trope. Do I mean literary? An entertainment trope called Women in Fridges, which talks about how usually a male superhero character will see something horrible happen to a woman in his life, and it serves as character development for him, not her. So, the place where it comes from is Green Lantern. Like, Kyle Rayner found his girlfriend had been killed and shoved in a fridge to progress his storyline. And that's where that comes from.
Ready for school? Hey, look at me when I'm talking. Daddy's little princess. Oh, you look so cute with your pigtails. All the boys in your class must be so distracted. Okay, you can run off now. I'll see you tonight.
But yeah, Lady Mappy, or an Ice Queen. That's another way of looking at it. And it also check it out. Little Orphan Connie, the School of Hard Knocks. I see what they did there. It could also relate, the doll, I should say, could also relate to body image issues, because that was a central design point in Silent Hill 3. Like, they don't talk about it, but it comes up a lot in Silent Hill 3's, like, visuals. Alright, on we go. Also, right, through the door, please. Have you ever tried to pull out nails with your hand? Don't do that. That really hurts. Also, that message is real creepy, and I'm not going to show it off this time. I showed it off last time for the sake of completion, but I choose not to today. So this right here is St. Christopher, who is the patron saint of travelers and the lost. And I believe he is also where we get the phrase, "He ain't heavy, he's my brother." Because that was his story. Hi. I know it's cold to do it this way, but you don't listen when I talk. Sorry, it's over. I can't do this if you won't open up to me. Steve. God damn it, Steve. I don't like that guy.
Like my shelf at home.
Damn right, Harry. You're a champ. That's what you are. Now, where are me notes? Oh, hey. That guy's got a cool hat. I'm gonna take a picture of that hat. You got 6. Trust no one. And as we saw before, this thing has changed. So we got football, basketball, theater, and sex ed. So that's... Oh, there we go. Thank you, Empirical Woodland. There's... Toothache, you say? That's an interesting one. The only one I know is, Click, I hate that got me. That's pretty good. Let me just pin that. That looks important. Okay, back to this. Right, where am I? Hi. The game's now going, "Ah, man, CPC Gamer got incredibly drunk when he saw a UFO, minus 10 points. I believe there is a message over here. I knew it was on one of the lunch tables. Hey, Caitlin. You got till lunch is over to say yes. The question, will you be my prom date? And then this is the message from Caitlin from the start of the game, saying, hey, I just found a cute dress for prom. How about that? You gonna go through that door, Harry? Yes. There we go. Okay. Now, damn me just a second while I look over here and I go, what do my notes say? Okay, good. We're still on track for the UFOs. I haven't missed one. I usually think there's an extra one in this game, and I frequently miss it. And I don't want to. Oh, that's where she is! Would you believe I've never seen that? Like, I know there is a ghost in this room, but it always runs away before I get here. Apparently she just goes under the desks. How about that? Now, where is the thing I am looking for? It's in this classroom. I'm going to be cutting this frog open. So, like, if that's not something you're into, look away for, like, 5 to 10 seconds. Here we go. And this gets us a frigid jewel. Which kind of makes sense given that we are currently going through a storyline called Frigid. And, kind of hard to see, but because it's upside down, and I have to twist the remote right around. But Lady Mappy got it. It says Ice Queen on the inside. How about that? I am so glad we never did dissection at school. I said it last time, I'll say it this time. The very idea. I hate it. Hate it. Now, previously, we went to the art studio, and I showed off the shadow play puzzle. Well, we're going to go over here to the planetarium this time. Americans, do your schools have planetariums? Mine didn't. Mine, like, had an overhead projector. And that's about it. Hello? Man, can you tell that I never come this way? I always go and do the art room puzzle.
So now, as we move across the sky, we see another familiar face. This will be Ursa Minor, or as we like to call him, Little Bear. What's so funny? Oh, very good. Well, if Mandy doesn't mind waiting till after class to make her call, let's continue.
Now, what we have to do, if I am remembering it rightly, is turn you on, turn you off, which is that button. There we go, otherwise you can't see the lights. And then we have to tilt this thing, and I believe we have to find Little Bear. Or, I could be wrong. I don't know. This is not a puzzle I often do, so who knows? Is it that one? I'm pretty sure it's going to be that one. And then... Hey, Mandy, be my little bear. Call me Big Bear. 555-2327. Three, 2, 7. Calling Big Bear.
Doors open.
And this is why you can't... Well, you can call those numbers as soon as you get the phone. But it doesn't do anything. Because if you did, if you called Big Bear, and then you did the shadow puzzle, well, you just couldn't do it. You couldn't solve the puzzle. Nice! Wake up and look at my new outfit. XO Dahlia. That's the rare one. I'm glad I got that. Now, what you can do, if you come here and you use 1053 and you type it in, that skews your points one way or another. I think it's the abstract ending where you're not taking it seriously. But what you have to do, and this is what we saw before, is explore some of these lockers. And, yep, there it is. An eternal rose, which says eternal love on it, which is representative of my hatred of the Wii Remote not being very good at making me look at those things.
Almost over. Almost done. We're almost done with high school.
All right, here's what we need.
That's a great thing. We're all excited about getting out into the real world, carving
Man,
our own paths.
sticks made out of fish. Zachary is living the dream.
Let's remember the friends we've made, the
May
fun
once have
we've
caused a
had,
fight
the
among my family.
parties, the ups and the downs.
It's fine.
Apparently, life gets worse from here on in. So let's treasure those memories. Now, let's dance.
Once again, everyone is way too happy to be there listening to that guy talk at that prom. 10:31. Nobody at my leavers do was that happy for anything. Alright. 1, 0, 3, 1. And through we go. Oh, Fish Pocky, get out of here. We were having a good time in Empirical Woodland, and then you came along with your revolutionary ideas. He'll never be the head of a major corporation, and... where is it? I swear, if I have to double back and go through the school again, because I've read my notes wrong... or do I? That's 7. That's half of them. See, that's what happened. The UFO was going too fast. Took that guy's head clean off. That's no way to get ahead in life.
Here's to us.
Never gonna get old.
Never gonna be like our parents.
Never gonna stop loving.
What a nice, hopeful message. Hey, look at that! This room looks a lot different to the way it did the first time we came here. For one thing, Comic Sans is now blue. I'm pretty sure it was blue last time. I just want to point out that, like, this is like a major IP for Konami, and we're using Comic Sans? Are you kidding me? This is Silent Hill, not a lemonade stand. There are no grapes in this game. Huh, okay. So, the character of Michelle is very fluid and open to interpretation, and there's no, like, direct answer for who she is in Cheryl's life. Maybe she is someone who went to school with Cheryl. Maybe she's some barista from Starbucks, and Cheryl's mind is just pulling that face from memory because she sees it all the time. But design-wise, is a little more concrete. Michelle is supposed to be someone that the player is attracted to. And that doesn't mean that you are supposed to be attracted to her specifically, but she's supposed to be the kind of woman that you're into based on the answers that you've given and your behavior in the game. Do you like sexy dresses, big hair party girls? Do you like out of your league prom queens? Do you like awkward, nerdy introverts? The game will anticipate which of those would work best for you, and
I'm looking for the shelter.
that's what Michelle will look and act like.
No.
Some party. Me and a guy who isn't even supposed to be here. Catch.
But the setup, like, it's not just related to how she looks and acts. There's a lot going on in this scene that changes based on what you're doing. Is it well lit? Is it eyes front Andy and eyes up Andy? Is it well lit? Is there just a spotlight on stage? Is it red or blue? Is it dark?
She's a Midwich student?
It's very subtle. I love it.
She's just 7. Her name is Cheryl.
Cheryl Mason?
Yeah.
There was a Cheryl Mason when I was here. She was above me at school.
Must be a different girl, same name. She's 7.
I'll show you. Come look.
Zachary, you make a good point, actually. This is...
There you go.
High schoolers would use
That's an old photo.
Comic Sans.
You say she ran off?
No, we were in a car accident. That can't be my daughter.
How many Cheryl Masons could there be in a small town like this? She even looks like you.
She's wearing the St. Christopher medal that you are carrying in your pocket, Harry. You noticed that?
Sure. Come on.
Well, that's the thing, Lady Mappy. It could be who Cheryl wishes she was.
The principal's office?
Designing the game, there is no answer for who Michelle is. Because she's an original character for this game.
You're breaking into the principal's office?
I don't see any hall monitors. Evening, Mrs. Albright. You cow.
She's still around? I remember her.
She was when I graduated. I think she'll be here until someone drives a stake through her cold secretarial heart.
Good line. I still feel it's a little overwritten. I don't know.
That's the principal's PC. All the school records are on it. Students used to hack it to fix their grades. Hey, I was good at school. Principal Fisher was obsessed with changing his passwords.
And we're hacking into his PC to...
See if you can pull up the records for Cheryl Mason. See if she's your daughter. Prove me wrong.
If I do, we get out of here?
Sure. Take your time. I'm just gonna text my boyfriend to find out where the hell he is.
Once again, Harry has just latched on to the idea that he's hanging out with her really, really quickly, right? Anyways, let's do this passwords puzzle. How could you lose your daughter? Well, we were in a crash, and she wandered off. Please answer this security question. Oh, I think I know this one. Is that going to be lacrosse? I don't know. I'm not going to tinker with it. Because we mentioned this before. Do you remember like horizontal PC towers? My goodness. Yeah, what you're supposed to do is like look around the room, and this will like give you the answers that you're looking for. And I don't actually remember what this one is. I like it though. Like I genuinely think this is a racquetball. There we go. And then we all go very quiet as I try to type this out. Using a point and click interface. I know the joke is that, like, oh, when you go to hell, you have to enter your passwords with an Xbox 360 controller. this is worse. My only true four-legged friend. This one is you. And I remember that from last time, because Nikki is very nearly the best name for the best dog. Which is one of you. Probably the best Shakespeare comedy. That, I'm pretty sure this one is like a subtle nod to Silent Hill 3. Also, yes, Monte Carlo. Hi. This is not my first play. I have done this a lot. And this is very specifically me. Oh, here you go. Here it is. 12th Night. This is very specifically me explaining the mechanics behind the code of the game. So, spoilers abound if that's your thing. On. There we go. Sunday 45. I'm just gonna get real quiet while I focus real hard and I do my gamer face just to enter this. Here we go. Come on, come on. Yeah, get wrecked, kid. This was the first version of this game. It was ported to other consoles later. And, like,
It is her.
that was the decision to do that. First thing they decided to do that. Like, come on.
It's not a great neighborhood. Why would we move there? I guess the cop was right. My ID was old. That wasn't my house. What else did I forget?
Tight as Andronicus, I get it.
Why don't you call it?
I will. There's no reception. I'll be outside.
Good luck.
Yes?
Cheryl?
No, Dahlia. You want me to find her? Who's calling?
It's her father, Harry Mason. Is she okay?
Harry?
Is she okay?
Who the hell do you think you are?
Sorry?
I don't know. I was in a crash. I don't know who I am. What about my daughter? What about my boat? Right. I am going to save my game because I keep forgetting to do that. And oh boy, this section. We touched on it a little bit last time, but if you save during this section, like as soon as you leave that door, there's a puzzle coming up. And there is every chance that that puzzle will completely unload. And that is why there's actually a fail-safe of a sort. It's also there in case the puzzle was too difficult, to be fair, which, you know, we'll get to that. Oh, damn, look at that. Anyway. My secret? Yeah, my secret is copious notes, and I just generally am a massive nerd when it comes to games about which I am passionate, and this is one of them. You should hear me talk about Silent Hill 2. My wife. Because I'll do that forever. With very little provocation, you'll notice. There's actually a reason for me to do that a lot in this game, where there are several story beats taken from that game in here, so there's some of that. Yeah, see, Lady Mappy's getting into the deep lore. CPC Gamer has a copy of Silent Hill 2 sutured to his leg. I think it was my hip, but yes. Oh, that's a deep cut. I mean, to be fair, Zarkrai, you're the academic one. If I could turn my knowledge of Silent Hill to, like, academia, I'd do that.
Oh, damn.
But that's
the
kind of
door's
tricky.
shut. Look, I'll try to get them open. You go get the photos. Don't lose your nerve. I'm all out of motivation. No, wait. Now I'm all out. Okay, go get photos of them together. You get a journalism credit if we catch them red-handed.
The prime paparazzi spots, the courtyard, the parking lot, and the locker rooms. Snap, snap, crackerjack. My knowledge of physics essentially begins and ends with I run into a wall, I stop. What else is? This camera has a zoom function? This is not my first playthrough, but come with me as I learn things. Right, let's grab the flare and do this quick before the monsters find me again, because I don't want to do this. There we go. And then, like that. Man, some of my notes are like, now take a right. And that doesn't work in 3D space, Andy. What are you playing at? Not the time. Alright, away we go. And then... yeah, there it is. This is absolute hell if you don't have notes telling you where to go. Or if the puzzle has unloaded, which it can do. The failsafe, and something that surprisingly very few people see, if the monsters catch you 3 times, every time they catch you, you spawn back in at the door. And if they catch you 3 times, the statues just shatter, and you get a second message on the phone that's like, oh damn, looks like you gotta go home and play with yourself, 'cause you didn't earn my respect. But we did it. Everything's fine. Who's that in the car with Teach? Dirty, he's old enough to be her father. Check this out. Naked and wild for the camera. No. No. Now we know how she got her A. Staying late after class. So this one is Cheryl. And this is something that happened in Cheryl's past. She, growing up without a father, didn't really have anyone to go to for that, and sought comfort with one of her teachers, and that got her in a lot of trouble at the high school.
I was about to head off. I thought I ought to wait a little longer.
Thanks.
You okay? Any luck with the phone?
I mean, I do maintain that one of those messages doesn't count. You don't get to call someone out for showering naked.
You got a car?
I was planning on getting a ride with John. There's my boss's SUV. Yeah, I'm looking after it while she's on vacation. It's at the club where I work, not far from here. I could give you a lift.
That would be great. Lead the way. You want my jacket? You're going to freeze.
I'm used to running around in a dress. I'm too hot-blooded to feel the cold.
I feel bad, you're sure?
Yeah, keep it. You're the car crash guy. You thinking about your daughter?
Constantly.
I'm sure she's okay.
I mean, I know that I generally wear jean shorts all the time, but like, not in the shower. Come on.
Your head is still jumbled up, Harry. Just give it a while, okay? You should go see a doctor.
I'll make sure Cheryl is safe, then worry about myself.
These sections are real awkward, because shouldn't you walk beside her, not behind her? Like, if this was a human interaction. Pretty sure. Anything else you want to say there, Michelle? You want to chime in with, like, conversation branch 2, please?
It's not far now.
There you go. These sections are always the buggy ones.
Really? It's pretty popular.
You work there, right? What do you do?
I sing. Sometimes I mix drinks. It's a temporary thing while John and I sort things
Do you know what? Now that you mention it, you're right. Her feet are sliding a little bit.
I need to decide if I want to come back.
And it's not a case of she's walking in heels. She's just...
Yeah. Well, not
Those feet are sliding out from underneath her.
I want to be with John.
Good spot, Lady Mappy.
John?
He wants it too. It's just hard. We've been together for 5 years, but we never lived together. Now we're out in the world, living our lives.
John's a lucky guy. He's probably just lousy at showing it.
That's...
No lawyers. Not so touchy.
Your boyfriend's a lucky guy is a really, like, underhanded way of flirting with someone's wife. And, like,
absence makes the heart grow fonder.
don't do that.
Believe that?
Absolutely.
Huh. So, it is possible for the Balkan to be blue, red, or
Good thing
brown.
they're closed.
How so?
I'm not sure they'd let you in with that outfit.
It's randomly generated,
I know.
and,
That's why I'm dating a lawyer.
I always get blue.
The Balkan.
Last time I was in a nightclub was for my...
I need to answer this. The keys are in my room upstairs. Run up and grab them.
Why do you have my ringtone?
John, where have you been? I guess I can let you off the hook then. But you're gonna have to make it up to me. Uh-huh.
Nah, the best ringtone is, like, the Nokia ringtone. That's my doorbell. So, previously, we came up here, and we were presented with... Sigh. Thirsty and bored. XO Dahlia. We came up here before, and we are presented with 2 doors. You've got the one with all the kissy lips on it, and the one with all the stars on it. And I went through this door, because I figured, you know, red, like her dress. Plot twist, the same room exists behind both doors, with the same puzzle behind both doors. If you take this one, your friendliness score goes up, and if you take that one, your sexuality score goes up. I'm going through this one, because I didn't go through that other door last time. Also, what a dingy room. My goodness.
Hope my room isn't too messy. I was in a hurry earlier. Oh, nobody. Just some guy I met.
So the way that this puzzle works, you have to... I'm not going to do that one. Too many moving parts. You have to poke around the room and try to find the key for the club. For the car, excuse me. She has the key for the club. That's how we got in. The key is always in the third place that you look. Always. And if you continue snooping around the room after you find it, the game marks you down. Like, your friendliness score goes down for that. Also, why would the keys be in the cookie jar? I don't know. That's just the third place that I looked. Another fine observation, Lady Map. The hottest nightclub in town. Although, to be fair, this is a backroom area. The backroom areas of most places look garbage.
Got the keys.
Click everything is in the last place you look for it, because you stop looking when you find it.
Something to warm
Oh,
me up in
eyes
this
up.
weather.
Things go okay with John?
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna come meet me here once I've dropped you off. This weather, such a pain. Oh, I should have offered you a drink.
No, it's fine. I'm confused enough as it is. I just want to get going, put today behind me.
Hey, everything's gonna be fine, you know? We'll be there soon, and then you can see your wife and daughter and...
Wife?
You're married, aren't you? You're wearing a ring. You okay?
I believe I mentioned this before. Harry is not wearing a ring up until this point. So it's not something that you've missed. Like, you, the player, have not missed this. It changed at this point. Hey, you know I talked about Silent Hill 2 being a really good game that this game copies sometimes? That's called a grounding technique.
Who the hell is Michelle? You're more wasted than I am.
Where's Michelle?
Funny. Come on, let's get going. I'm going to drive. You, Mr. Harry, are way over the limit.
Stop. This is out of control. I came in here with a girl called Michelle. She was going to drive me to Simmons Street. Who are you?
Are you on something? I'm Dahlia. Hottest piece of ass you'll ever see in this town. You are Harry Mason. Generally, a fun guy to be with. What are you wearing these for? Stop being a dick and let's get going. We'll get to Simmons Street and see Cheryl.
Cheryl?
Your daughter? Oh, come on, you're not that wasted. That's why we're in this lousy club, to get the SUV so we can drive up to Simmons Street.
That's right, but...
It's just... no more craziness. You're freaking me out.
That is generally why one would wear glasses, Empirical Woodland. You are correct. I think the implication is that Harry shouldn't be wearing them. Like, he...
Guess that means we don't have to stop for any red lights.
as a person, he doesn't...
One way? Screw that. Let's cut up on Kincaid. You're very quiet there, Harry. You're not gonna be sick, are you?
I think I'm losing my mind.
What?
How long have you known me?
I don't know. A few years?
I don't know you. I can't remember you. Since the car crash, nothing is making sense.
Don't do this to me, Harry. Don't start tripping out on me. When you said you crashed your car, you didn't mention this. Damn, are you in pain?
No pain. And I can remember most things. Just sometimes. Some details. I try to focus, but then they slip away. And I think I'm seeing things.
You really don't know who I am.
No.
Sid and Nancy?
Who are Sid and Nancy?
My tits? You named them?
We're sleeping together?
This is a joke, right? A really lame joke.
I wish it was.
I don't know that there is a correct or polite way to put this. Do you actually name those?
Shit, the bridge is up.
What can we do?
Run up to the control room. See if you can get it moving.
Okay.
Look, don't flip out on me. No forgetting what you're doing and wandering off.
Hey, I got it.
I'll be waiting. Jesus.
That was an aggressive slam, Harry. What was that? So to answer your question, Lady Mappy, again, it's not fully nailed down. But I think what it's meant to be is the Harry that you start off the game as, that's how Cheryl kind of remembers her dad to be. And as you go through the game and talk more about it and learn more about Harry, she, she being Cheryl, strips away some of the things that she is misremembering. So, oh yeah, he didn't wear glasses. He wasn't stuffy leather jacket man. Nope. That one. And that's why you end the game in the outfit that you begin the game wearing, because she's got video footage of you in that outfit, so that's what you look like.
It's Jimmy here. Who's this?
Mr. Capra? My name is Harry Mason. I need to lower the bridge.
Hey, well, wait, will you? You know what time it is? Probably woke my kids.
I'm sorry, but this is an emergency. I've been in a car accident. My daughter needs my help. I just...
Okay. You want to know how to operate the bridge controls?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Mr. Mason, listen carefully. You need a...
So this is an interesting one. The last time we played the game, Jimmy was essentially drunk on a couch, surrounded by bottles, and every time he moved, there was Foley work in the background of glass clattering around. And we didn't get that now. Today he's more concerned about his kids. One way of showing that we're playing the game differently. There it is.
What's the holdup? You drinking on the job?
I'll be done soon.
The best one of those is when Dahlia says, "Are you done yet?" And Harry says, "Yeah, I'm coming." And Dahlia just laughs at him.
Yeah, Mr. Mason, I guess we got cut off and I can't seem to get through on your phone. Listen, to lower the bridge, here's what you do. First you push the start button. A colored light will come on. If it's blue, move the center lever. Now if it's red, move the left lever. If it's green, don't do anything, just wait. And if the yellow light comes on, move the right lever. You just gotta keep doing this until the bridge engages, okay? Best of luck, Mr. Mason.
So this, that's the same answer every time, but you have to get the answer, otherwise the game marks you down for it. So we got red, blue, yellow. And then if it's green, you just wait. And then eventually, I don't know how long, but like after a couple of those, the game will go, you've done enough. There you go. She calls Cheryl your daughter, because that's who Harry says he's looking for. But also, a good spot. Incidentally, once again, that is the 6th Street Bridge in Michigan. It's great.
Let's go.
Level with me, Harry. This a joke. You putting me on?
No, I told you.
Because if you got a problem with me, but you're too chicken shit to come out and say it, it's pathetic. Have some self-respect.
I'm not making this up. I'm not. Just drive.
Okay. No, it's not okay.
What? I wasn't poking her. What?
I'm not gonna sit here and have you screw around with me. I don't need the hassle.
Well, the thing is with this click,
Dahlia.
it's not the case that the game is marking you down, necessarily. That's probably the words that I'm using, but I probably shouldn't be. It's more, that's the answer you gave, and this is how the game is going to react to that. There is no right and wrong way through this game. It's just, the ending is always, no, the plot is always the same, the ending is just how you/Cheryl rationalizes it. So, for example, if you just solve the puzzle without getting the solution first, the game says, well, that's the kind of person you are. You've done this before. You're reading a guide. You possess knowledge you shouldn't. Something's not right here. Now, previously, I showed off the solution for how to escape the car. But this time, I opt not to do that. and we'll see what happens. And yeah, Lady Mappy, you got it. Generally one of the triggers for going to the other world is something bad happening to Cheryl or around Cheryl. So the first one, that's that's just a tutorial. That doesn't really count for much. But when else have we gone to the other world? Well, when Cheryl found a body in a hole. Pretty terrifying memory, don't think about that, off we go. When Harry realized Cheryl moved house. Why did Cheryl move house? Because he died. Don't think about that, move on. Mum and Dad are fighting, don't think about it, move on. And yeah, actually, that's... Again, it's nothing concrete, but that generally that's what the clue is. Okay. Pretty sneaky game. Alright, well, Click told me to solve the puzzle, so I'm going to solve the puzzle. The solution's the same, either way. But, since it's you, Click... So... It will be over soon. Golly, I hope so. Alright, so what you do... You tune the radio... until it plays You Are Always On My Mind, which will melt the ice. And this will allow you to open the lock and open the door, and this will let you leave. If you just stay in the car, it fade to black. You don't see this scene, is just fade to black, cut to whatever's next. Man, I do have too many games in my backlog. I've got like my stream list, it's ready to go. It's far too long. But it's fine, yeah. I really like doing this. I like hanging out with you guys. It's fine.
God.
I'm glad that I get to do that.
Oh, God.
Also, chalk up another catastrophic car crash that Harry walked away from. And he's unhurt. Telling you. Recurring themes in this game. Whoop, hi.
But inevitable.
Whoop,
Everyone's
hello.
going to die,
I'm not drunk.
even if
I was
you
readjusting in my chat.
pretend otherwise. You could die tonight, in your sleep. Why doesn't that terrify you?
It does!
How would you like to die? No, wait. Let me guess. You'd want to die surrounded by friends. It's academic, really, as we're only truly conscious of death when it happens to others. Get to my age, you'll have seen plenty of people die. There 1 minute, then gone. Okay, game time.
So, you can tell that this was motion captured, and motion captured super good, because look at his hands. Look at how they move. The little claps and clicks and points. Brilliant.
Right, sleeping.
An interesting thing to do would be to see what answers I gave previously, because I don't remember, and I'm probably going to give a different set of answers this time around. So this test doesn't really do anything. If you throw all the answers on one side or the other, that guides you towards the ending where you're not taking it seriously. Otherwise, this is an actual... I think this one's an actual psychological test. Cute little Easter egg, though. All of the cards have 13 on top of them, which is the death card in tarot. So there you go. There is also Um, right, yeah, that'll do. Because, yes.
It's just an exercise. There's no right answer. Actually, they were all dead.
As Click said last time, there's no right answer, except for the right answer. If you put all of the answers on one side, Kaufman says, you saw through my trick. There's no getting past you. You're way too smart for this. See, you've played Sleepy Daddy before.
Dahlia.
Who's Dahlia?
A girl. The car went into the river. She drowned.
Another crash? This is a different girl?
You must have seen the bridge. We went right off the side.
Harry, the bridge has been closed since the storm started. You swam. You could have died of hypothermia.
My clothes.
You were soaked to the skin. I grabbed what I could find here. We need to talk. When I was at the station, I pulled the file on Harry Mason.
So the trigger here seems to be the phrase, "we need to talk," which, yes, actually, somebody says to me, "we need to talk," I too will freeze up and run screaming into the darkness. Darkness. I'll do that every time. So the outfit that we're wearing is very specifically because we said that we were a jock. And because we picked football and basketball when we did the lesson planning. If you pick bully, then you're wearing like a slick leather jacket. Both of them look kind of uncharacteristic on Harry, I gotta be honest. But like, I don't know. I very rarely see this one, so this is the one I decided to go for. Right. Let's just walk out so I can get my health back up. And away we go! Now, previously, I got this wrong. Because I misread my notes. And hopefully we're not going to do that this time around. The reason that I couldn't get through that one door with monsters in it is because I don't believe you can get through that door. The monsters are there specifically to block you off from going through it. But my notes today say go through 2 upturned trains. Ah, yeah. I cannot see a thing. Hold the flare that way, Harry. Thank you. Right. 2 upturned trains. Then bank left. Up, right, follow path. And again, I hope it doesn't really detract from the game experience by having me just read through the notes and effectively just follow a map out. Because this is a very, like, personal experience, I think. Getting completely lost and not knowing your way out. So you wouldn't really benefit from me getting lost. I feel you just get frustrated. I would. Good dodge. And then, nope, not that way. That's the way back. This is the way forwards. That was perfectly timed. Good job, me. Alright, and the door freezes over. So those guys can't come back through. I have the mother of all hangovers. Last night was too much for little old me. What happened with Linda's SUV? Subtle little plot change. The name of the boss's SUV, or the boss who owns the SUV, I should say, that changes. Like, it wasn't Linda last time. I forget what it was, but it wasn't that. So plot-wise, after getting cut in the woods, Harry took Cheryl to Alchemilla General, which is the correct hospital. That's the one with pediatrics.
Yeah, doctor says she's doing well. She's young and healthy.
Is pediatrics
so
the one I mean?
it'll
Probably
heal
not.
quick.
Yes, it is.
She's fine. It's all doped up on medicine, and she's eaten nearly all the chocolates I bought.
Dad eats some too.
No, don't worry. She ate some fruit too.
Oh, the radio.
Oh, and I got a song played for her on the radio. That cheered her up. I'll be leaving soon. I'll try and be home soon as I can. You don't need to worry about me.
Yeah, as soon as I said pediatrics, I meant, do I mean podiatry? No. Podiatry is the one I'm mistaking it for. Whoop, don't point the remote away from the screen. Right.
If you want to hear a tune, just call 555-881, and for the final digit, use the number of the tune you want.
So this is the same as before. 5558. Actually, hang on. There you go. Let's just even out the camera while we're doing that. 555-881. And then whatever you want with one of these numbers. And it will play the song on the radio. And looking at them, you've got like Never Again, Rockin' Rabbit, Crying Tonight. It's not going to be any of these. It's going to be Daddy's Girl, the one that is kind of a running theme in this game. Yeah, Empirical Woodland. Thank you very much for clearing that up. That's the two that I get mixed up all the time.
Your request has been selected for broadcast. Get well soon. You're listening to Alchemilla Radio. It's kind of quiet tonight. If you want to hear a tune, just call 555.
Oh yeah, you need to sort of back away from the door. There you go. That tune right there, that plays elsewhere in this game. That music plays in the Tunnel of Love.
I spoke to him. She's going to be okay. Too worried to be angry. I can't think about it yet. He's spoiling her silly, trying to make himself feel better about it. I'm just relieved she's okay.
Oh, she's okay, I must say. Thanks, Maud. Which way's the way out? Is it this way? Yeah, reception. Oh, and this is different too. Previously, that was a crashed car.
Oh, God.
Specifically, I believe it was Harry's car.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today. It's my day off, but we were 3 nurses down because of the weather. Damn it. I wasn't supposed to be here. I shouldn't have been here.
He looks like he does not care.
Sorry. I'm just upset. Don't worry, it's nothing.
Shouldn't we take you inside?
I'm ready to go home. My apartment is a few blocks north. I can clean myself up there.
I'm heading that way. Let me walk you. Lisa?
I'm okay, really. But you can keep me company.
I'm Harry.
My apartment isn't far. We've got the wind behind us. Freezing wind.
You cold?
I'm too tired to feel it. You know the average ER nurse gets less than 5 hours sleep a night? I read that in a newsletter.
Ronald Reagan ran the country on 5 hours of sleep a night. I saw that on TV.
That explains how well he ran things. Thanks for the joke, Empirical Woodland.
I don't need a man in my life. I need a really good podiatrist. What is it?
Hey, we've been literally just having this discussion. Thanks, Lisa.
Figures.
I'm a writer.
Wow. I didn't know Silent Hill had a famous writer.
Hardly famous.
Have I heard of any of your books? My mom reads a lot. Bet she's read one.
Maybe. I wrote a romance series called Longing for the Moon. That was popular with moms.
Romance?
My agent tells me I have great insight into the female imagination.
You could put me in one of your books. Life and death drama in the ER.
I know a writer. That's a threat. I will put you in my book.
There are no dashing doctors. They're all alcoholics and perspire too much. I always fall for the guys who look like my dad, and then regret it the next day.
That is a plot point.
If you were a real writer, you'd be taking notes. Don't you all carry notebooks to write everything down?
Not me. I've got a photographic memory.
So, like, Lisa's section was one of the more buggy sections in the game, and it still kind of is in the retail version. Like, sometimes she doesn't walk home, she'll just stand still, sometimes she doesn't say anything, just follows a pathing. If you get far enough away, like, if you go the wrong way, her scripting turns off, and she just stands still.
No, butterflies, pretty bugs.
There's also a bug where she comes out of her room, and there is a second Lisa stood beside her. It's really creepy. I have a picture of it somewhere. I should show that off.
Definitely a nurse thing. We have a unique
Does Lisa change based off your choices? So, looks-wise, no. It's always this.
special cases.
Personality-wise, yes. She is a lot more... She was a lot more friendly in my playthrough. She was just kind of goofy and weird.
My apartment is just around the corner.
And in this one, she's just like, okay, cool, your name's Harry. I'm going home.
Bigger than the others, but I only pay standard rent. The landlord has a thing for nurses. Grab a seat. I'm just gonna get out of these things.
I oughta...
You're not running off yet. Warm up before you head back out there. I haven't thanked you yet. 5 minutes. Come on, sit. Sit.
That's real good bedside manner right there.
Watch some TV if you want. I won't be long.
I'm going to do that. Where's the remote? There's the remote. Come on. So, yeah, Lisa mentions that you should probably just watch TV. If you want, there you go. You can just sort of drift your gaze over to the left and watch her change. And it's nothing like fancy or explicit. It's just you see her in a bra and briefs as she walks past the mirror. And if you do that, obviously raises your sex and sexuality score. At the cost of you having to live with yourself for having done that. You creep. We get permission before we do that, thank you most very much.
You know, you're a nice guy, Harry.
Thanks.
I feel safe around you.
You okay?
Headache. Be a hero. Fetch me some pills from the bathroom. Check
Yellow,
the cabinet.
yellow, yellow.
Get me some yellow
Lisa needs
ones.
the yellow pills.
Sure.
Writing that down. So, if you give Lisa the wrong medicine, then it drops your friendliness score about as low as it will go. And at this point in the game, there is no coming back from that. It's like it's nuking Megaton in Fallout. You do not run that back. There is a memento here. Infinite Jest. And if you look here, it says Ophelia on the inside. Which, first of all, it's a nod to the Shakespeare puzzle from Silent Hill 3. Yeah, you had to know who Ophelia was in order to solve that. But it's also a nod to the plot of this game. Because Ophelia is from Hamlet. Which centers around seeing ghosts roaming around. Like Cheryl is presumably doing. Like what we are! I mean, arguably that's not what Hamlet centers around, but it is a very important point, alright? Oh. Stupid childproof caps. Ah! Hateful. Yellow. Yellow pills. Yes, indeed, Click. The game is keeping track of several variables based on what the player
Thanks.
is or isn't doing, and one of them keeps track of
No,
your
fine.
attitudes towards sex and sexuality. Do you
Self-medication.
like that? Do you hate that?
The one true perk of the healthcare
What's up with that?
profession. It's not just coffee that keeps us going 24/7. Okay, I'm going to sleep now. You let yourself out.
You feel guilty about
Oh,
everything.
hi.
When we all lived in huts and wore furs, we worried over the simple things. Food, water, whether animals would come and eat us in the night. Now we have supermarkets, bottled water, and 38 caliber home security. So what keeps us awake at night? More often than not, guilt. If only I had acted differently. If only I hadn't said that. If only I'd said something. You beat yourself up with your past. Don't blame yourself. Blame the world. Blame God. Blame me. Okay, this is my favorite. Let me introduce some friends of mine. This is King Harold. His daughter, the chaste Celestine. A prince called Wilhelm. And a bull. He doesn't have a name.
I don't think this man is a licensed therapist. He's just sort of...
passionately in love with Celestine.
He's like your dad's
But
mate,
she does not love him.
and he's had a few, and he's like,
One day,
let me
Wilhelm
tell
comes
you
to the king
how
and
the
asks for
brain
Celestine's
works,
hand in marriage.
and birds are
Celestine
government
begs the king
drones.
not to marry her to Wilhelm, but the king ignores her pleas. Royal protocol means he must say yes to the match. They are married, and Wilhelm takes Celestine back with him to his kingdom. That night, he attempts to consummate the marriage, but the distraught Celestine flees. She runs from the safety of the castle and across a field, ignoring the sign which warns of danger. In that field is a bull, who, seeing the girl, charges her. She falls under his hooves and is killed instantly. What I want you to do is line the players up according to how guilty they are of Celestine's death. Whose fault was it? At the left, most culpable. To the right, most innocent. You want to hear that again?
Nope, I'm good. I know the answer to this puzzle. So, would you like to know something really, really interesting about this guilt test? So, yes, you are being asked to assess who is to blame for the death of Princess Celestine. But what you are actually doing is assessing the plot of the video game Silent Hill Shattered Memories, because each character in the story relates to something in the game. So, Princess Celestine is Harry, the victim who died because of actions you could potentially argue were their own doing. And then Wilhelm is Dahlia, who's stuck in a doomed and loveless marriage until their spouse dies. And the king is Cheryl, the most important person in the story, and the one who forces Harry and Dahlia to be together, despite not loving one another. And then the bull is what killed Harry. It's the car, it's the crash, it's the force of nature. That's what the bull is, and that's why it's not a human, like the others. And who you hold most accountable is who Cheryl would blame for her father's death. Is it Harry's fault for getting in the accident, her mother's fault for not loving him, herself by forcing the marriage, or the thing that took her father away? Kaufman says it himself before we came to do this. Blame the world, blame God, blame me. That's you. Now, the answer you give to this test doesn't really change anything, although you do have to pick up each piece at the very least, with one exception. If you put the bull as the most guilty party, that counts towards, air quotes, bad ending, suggesting you're not taking therapy seriously. And I'm not entirely sure why, because I touched on it last time. You could argue that it is the Bull's fault. And Kaufman says it himself. You can't ignore the facts. The Bull did kill Celestine. But I'm going to... had to get a bit of spin in there. I love we get a spinner in. Go on. Again? No. Anyway, that's basically the answer that I gave last time. Check out my channel. There's a clip where I rationalize that.
Done.
I like it. Am I done? Yes, I'm done.
Poor Wilhelm. You think if he really loved her, he would never have forced the marriage. I find the best cure for guilt is to never get caught in the first place. Let's continue.
I mean, I would argue that the best way to avoid guilt is to just don't do the bad thing. What bad thing? I don't know. What are you feeling guilty about? Alright, let's just open you up. And on we go. What I think we're going to do, we're going to get to the next, like, major plot point, and then we'll call it for the day. Because we're coming up on time-ish. And then we'll finish up in the next stream. Not too shabby. Right. So what you have to do... I'm kind of losing points by doing this. Also, inside snow. Once again, you'd love to see it. I'm kind of pushing myself towards the bad ending by just coming this way. You're supposed to, like, feel around a bit first. Hey, Harry, it's Michelle. Hope you got home okay. I'm still waiting for John to get here. What a weekend. If you do a bit of this... Huh. That's usually a butt. But if you do that, you get some sex and sexuality points for that. Oh, I thought it meant use, like, actually use the photocopier. Normally what will happen is Harry will look at it and be like, nice. Nah, what you actually have to do is pick up this one. A synthetic femur. That's just a dog toy. And that belonged to the dog, which we learn about when we get to the mall. Now what crashed was this. And I'm pretty sure that can change, but I don't know. I only really remember it being like VHS players or whatever that is. I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that can change though. More importantly than that, we are going to be very, very careful because there's something really important and missable coming up. And I do not want to miss this very important thing. So what we're going to do... Actually, what I'm going to do... just do a bit of that. Because that way, I don't necessarily have to worry about it. Let's go this way. And I believe... unless I've missed one. Nope, I haven't. Look at that. I know you're there. I see you. 8 down. You're doing well. My wife doesn't believe me. Can we just appreciate that design? That is an 80s looking design. I would buy that on a Vaporwave album. Like, it's the use of the Hollywood Boulevard font. That's what does it. No, that's not Hollywood Boulevard. That's Broadway. Excuse me.
What's wrong?
I woke up. I had such a terrible dream. Blood everywhere. Oh God, Harry.
Try to stay calm, Lisa. I'm coming.
Please hurry.
Okay, first off, we are currently on a timer. Depending on how long it takes to get back to Lisa's house, or if you walk, or if you divert from the path you took to get to the mall, your friendliness score will decrease. Secondly, Lady Mappy is reading ahead in my notes. I had previously called that out as a plot hole, and it kinda is, but it actually isn't. So there is no way that Lisa should have Harry's number. We have seen the entirety of their interaction with one another, and at no point did he ever give his number out. But since this is all taking place in Cheryl's mind, everybody knows roughly what Cheryl knows, including her father's phone number. So it makes sense that these imagined characters would know Harry's number, because Cheryl does. And there's other instances where the game does this, and characters express knowledge that they shouldn't. Michelle says, "Oh hey, you're married." On the walk over here, Lisa said, "Tell me about your daughter." We didn't mention her daughter. She just knows about her.
Lisa?
Because this is all going on in Cheryl's head. And this is
Don't move.
a story beat that shows up in Silent Hill 2.
I said don't move. Stand up and step away from
Exactly the same in Silent Hill 2. A character expresses knowledge they shouldn't have, but then immediately sidetracks you with a medical emergency, so you don't realize, oh yeah, that was a plot point.
Shut up! I know you're not Harry Mason.
It's also a pretty neat little catch-all for going, oh, that's why they said that. Anyway, freeze! That is also someone else's joke that I stole from the last stream. I hope everybody appreciates that. What I'm going to do... I'm actually going to freeze. And we're going to pause. And we are going to finish off in the next stream. Because I'm just also I'm going to pause the game. Because look, I have to move the Wii remote away to turn back to my computer. And if I don't do that, Harry will just spin. And while I am all about spinning, that's not really what we're here for. So, this is a very serious game about very mature topics. That's why I'm so giggly. Thank you very much. Alright. Here is my ending screen. Whomst do we raid today? I have an idea. But it depends on what's happening. Yes, he is. Alright, we're gonna go and raid my buddy, Quick, excuse me. He is doing... Oh my god, I just typed /quit. Oh man, is this IRC? Let's raid Quick Draw 7777, who is currently doing Final Fantasy VI randomizers. And just generally being a bro, because he's great. Lady Mappy, absolutely fine. By all means, there's the Discord. Just come hang out with us whenever you want. Come back on Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to start a new game. And then another one on Friday. My goodness, how exciting. So come back next time to find out what that is. And until next time, goodbye.